Don't you know we're just starting? But you sure we got the clue how that this we go. Don't you know no more art? And as you look to the horizon, not a cloud, but then stormy weather's go too cold. Seems like it crept up out of nowhere, all around you is not what you foretold. You never see it coming. You see that my mind is too fast for eyes. You're done there, but the time is hit you, you're not surprised.
Good afternoon, good morning, good evening. This is Dspnews, the unreliable ones. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the newsroom and welcome to the Goutopia News Network, your unreliable source for DSP News. For this particular segment, no tagline. As you guys may or may not know, this is part 2. The broadcast earlier today was a little bit shorter, so we're doing another one. I'm sorry, I understand people kind of like a longer video, and I feel like I'm kind of just letting people down doing that. So I'll just throw a second one out. So where are we at today? Ladies and gentlemen, we are here with Snort Burnell. Well, this part of the day, I should say. We're here with Snort Burnell, Dspgaming. Oh, yes? Let's see. Make tips bigger. Longer streams, and you can get longer streams if you give me more money. Okay, wait a second. Make the tips bigger, longer streams if you give me more money. I don't even have anything to say about that. Not at all. Let's just go ahead and get into it. Here's the thing. Okay, I do have something to say about that. Okay. People are asking you for longer streams, and you'll only do it if they give you more money. When instead, you could pull an amazing broke man Jedi mind trick and start your streams earlier and have them end a little bit earlier, and that right there would kind of funnel people in, and you could actually build off of that demand. Because if you're making requests like this, demands even, then you're assuming, and Phil could be wrong about this, he usually is, you're assuming that people want the streams to go on longer. Then maybe you should start earlier and force them into almost like a funnel, and then you can dictate these demands. If you're not going to do that, then what's the point? And if your streams at night are still only pulling in 200 or 300, what's the point of that? Especially when, at the time that I'm recording this, I saw Mrhuth Stuff do a rebroadcasting of your stream the other night. He had about 150, almost 200 people. Lightside Bill is averaging about 200 people. Dante Crisis is going to start rebroadcasting, I hope, is going to start rebroadcasting also. Your nighttime stream is being overlapped by, the detractors and the content makers that are on the come up, just to name a few. You know what I'm saying? James the Lesser sometimes does it, and he pulls bigger numbers than you at night. Tevin's killing you no matter what. So this right here, this right here, you're gonna learn today. Oh, you gonna learn today. This right here, this right here, little piggy, this ain't gonna work. This isn't gonna work unless you start changing up, and that means, to be honest, do it sooner. Start earlier and end earlier, and then you can make these type of demands. If not, you're wasting time. But let's go ahead and get into it. We'll make do from there. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network Productions. You guys all know the slogan for the second time today. It's time to watch me work.
Warning, what you may see right now is going to be absolutely disgusting.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this game, and I'd obviously like to learn it more and play it more, but it seems like people just don't really tune in to watch it that much anymore. Or at least like this lobby, I don't think many people care. If I'm doing randoms and stuff, it seems a little bit more interesting. But it seems like this people aren't really too interested.
Viewership is much lower tonight than it usually is for a fighting game.
And, as I said, everything else is very slow too, which sucks. Especially right now. I need the help, and I'm playing a game where basically no one's doing anything. It's like, that sucks.
I don't know what's going on. Listen, here's the bottom line, and I'm tired of it now. No more excuses, alright? It just seems to me like people are fucking lazy and don't want to come out to the streams. I don't even know what else to say, you know? I mean, this is kind of ridiculous. I need that money, I really do. I need that money to pay my bills.
I'm gonna fucking fall asleep waiting. So I mean, like, these arena mode, I really don't like this. I like just doing random online play, but people keep asking me, screaming, Phil, do arenas, do arenas, do arenas. So I finally said, okay, we'll do another arena, and everyone says it's boring. So just an FYI, a tip for everybody. If you are tipping me today, which thank you very much to everyone who has, I appreciate it. So far, good start, right? FYI, PayPal takes a much larger cut of dollar tips. PayPal takes about 33 cents out of every dollar that you guys pledge with a tip. But if you do larger tips, they take less. So for example, if you're gonna, I'm gonna tip Phil a certain amount today or whatever. If you tip me a larger tip, it takes less than if you do a bunch of dollar tips. So just to forewarn you, because I know it's annoying that, you know, you're trying to send help and then PayPal keeps taking cuts. But I've noticed that for some reason PayPal takes a ton out of dollars, but takes very little out of larger ones. So just a heads up.
So you lazy pieces of shit. I don't need the Detractor's quarters and nickels. For you guys, I don't need your little dollars. I don't need your little dollar. I need dollars now. You guys need to go ahead and really step your shit up. $5 minimum. $5 minimum to make it worthwhile. You guys better hop to it. Those taxes aren't going to pay themselves.
Bigger so that way they're more significant, you know? It's greed. It's greed. Greed is massively strong. I have no fucking self-control.
Yeah, I know a lot of streamers put it on by default. If you're gonna tip them, you have to cover the processing fee. I don't.
What?
I'm appreciative of anything I get. DDO428 just said, can you get a sponsor? Most of the app companies will sponsor anyone. No. Sadly, I can't because I had a lot of sponsorship opportunities last year, and they all were canceled on me because of people trolling the fuck out of the companies.
I did nothing wrong. I did everything correct.
Basically, as soon as I announce a sponsorship, these assholes who stalk me go to that company and harass them on social media, and none of the companies want that, so then they just back out. And it happened 2 times to me last year, so I've had enough about this. Enough of that. Alright, Blue River just sent me $9 and says, do the dab.
So now I do my celebratory tips dab. There you go.
Alright, we hit 250 tonight. I'll do a double dab. Well, thank you, Fallen Hero. Just give me a really nice compliment. He said, you're my favorite streamer because despite bullshit that you push through, you put out good content and are mostly positive despite the shit that people take out of context. Well, thank you for that, Fallen Hero.
And I also agree with you.
Oh, yeah. Any positive comment that I get, obviously I agree with you. And then there's Phil's celebratory suck-off. Do you see how codependent he is on that? Like, Phil, like... First off, it's probably bait. But let's say it is legit. Really, Phil? Really? You got a couple hundred people watching you. And this is what you crave? You start to sound like those other bigger YouTubers who are like, I want to have a really positive atmosphere, and this, that, and the third, when you look at their backlog, it's just full of drama. And they still perpetuate drama. They don't mind that drama when they're projecting it at somebody else, but it's when in their own little safe spaces they want everything to be positive. Tell me how great I am. Tell me how great my content is. Always praise me while you're here. Sounds like a whole lot of low self-esteem if you ask me. If everything's positive, you'll never have any room for growth. Period. What do I know? I'm just a dog in an extremely sharp suit who made special agent status this year, ladies and gentlemen, at the DIA. Ha-ha! Shouts out to Agent Proper. Definitely check out his channel. Actually, I think I should have the link of it in the description. So definitely check that out. Join the agency. Dspnews?
Mostly positive. I'm not 100% positive. I'm not. I'm human. I try really hard, and there's some days and some nights when, like, I'll get overcome by the shit, you know? And it sucks when that happens. Like, last night, I think that happened when I was playing Smash. And, you know, then you end up not having a good time. And it sucks that I know that people, you know, are here to have a good time. It sucks that a stream might come off as negative or shitty when otherwise that's not really how I'm feeling. You know what I mean? But that's life, you know? I'm not perfect. I strive to be better. I really do feel that I get better when I learn from this stuff, right? That was good.
Pidaris is cheered again and said, just a thought, if you tried to get sponsorship with a big company, would it be different? Like when you did ACO, Assassin's Creed Odyssey, sponsor stream, nobody tried to slander you because Ubisoft was too big to care about it. Oh no, that's false, they did. Apparently they all tweeted Ubisoft. I saw people, I will never support you again because Darkside Phil's playing your game and you're paying him to play your game. How could you? We hate him and we're never gonna support. I saw shit like that. Now Ubisoft is huge, you're right. They're not gonna give a shit about even a couple hundred people being assholes. They don't care about that. But the bottom line is, if you haven't noticed, I haven't been offered a single other sponsored stream since then, and that was October. It's been 2 months. So that stuff does negatively affect me, even though maybe Ubisoft didn't do nothing. When people saw that on social media, they're like, oh, fuck, we gotta get Phil out of that program. And I don't get offered it anymore. And it's directly a result of those asshole detractors doing that.
Basically the stream was very toxic. It sucked if those assholes didn't mess with me this year like that, I probably would have been able to do, I'm not even kidding you, like 10, 15 sponsored streams.
Ladies and gentlemen, do you really think he was going to do 10 or 15 sponsored streams? Seriously? Not with the viewership that he had. Once people figured out, oh, it's view-based, what was he pulling in? 200 views? 250? Maybe 300? It'd be different if he was pulling Tevin numbers. It'd have been different when you're pulling like 1,500 views. Then I could see that. But you weren't doing that. And whatnot. And how many of those bounties did you skip? And that's another problem that I have too. And you guys, if you guys saw my Disguised Toast, when I had the Disguised Toast segment. Speaking of which, I'm not sure if you guys remember that, but I had done that, and then James Lesser built off of it. Shouts out to James Lesser. He actually took a lot of shit from his community because of that. Not his fan base, but his community for letting all that out the bag. So I'm kind of glad I grabbed that video. I don't think he's taking it down because Disguised Toast isn't like that. You know, he stands by what he does. But if he ever was forced to, I'm glad I kept it, just to be on the safe side. But Phil has to actually apply for those. Phil makes it sound like he's selected for them. That's not the case. He has to actually apply for those bounties and whatnot. That's what it kind of comes down to. But he can choose what he wants, and there's always options up there. He just won't do it. He picks whatever's convenient for him. That's laziness. So do you really see him doing 10 or 15 of those? Especially at the low output that he was doing? I don't think so. I don't think so. Not 10 or 15. Maybe 7 or 8. But not 10 or 15. Let's continue.
False. Wrong. Incorrect. Negative. No. Nay. Absolutely not. Fuck that, Phil. You are a dirty, rotten liar.
Because they all started in, what was it, August, September? I probably would have done one a week. So once a week I would have done a little mini sponsor stream and I would have made a lot of extra money. It would have helped me out, and I could only do 2 because these fuckers basically, you know, harass the shit out of these people on social media. CM52 Twitch, I'm well aware of that. He says, you know, scumbag racist detractors use their hate of your persona to sabotage your placement remotely from anything. They regularly tell other people, including companies, sponsorship opportunities, that I'm, you know, false report Phil because he's a racist and he's this, and they'll send them videos from 10 years ago and act like that's something that I do all the time. I know. I'm well aware of it. It's fucked up, isn't it?
It's salty as fuck. It's like pure salt. All you could taste was salt. You couldn't taste anything else.
How much do you get for one sponsor stream roughly? And have you heard about Jeff Bezos getting a divorce? I don't care about that. I don't care about Jeff Bezos. The sponsor streams varied depending on how many people I had on the stream and what the people offer.
Okay. I mean, if you're not worried about what your boss is doing, that's fine. But then again, Phil, just like YouTube at one time, you're completely and totally dependent on what goes on over there. If some type of shake-up happens at Amazon, just saying, not to say that his divorce should do that, but I don't know. Life is stranger than fiction. Fiction.
The way it works is, depending on how many people actually on average you had on your stream, they give you a certain percentage of a bounty. If you have like more than enough for the whole stream, then you make more money. But there's no consistent amount. I think each one that I did, I made about a couple $100 extra, something like that. Each stream.
I need a sip.
Xbox One is garbage says if none of the batch ever happened to you, you'd be rolling your money. It's just not fair. You don't deserve it. I mean, it's true. I'd have sponsorships. I get free games from all the publisher companies. I get.
Whoa. Didn't you say that you had a problem with getting free games and that you didn't think that was fair and you wanted to feel the pinch in your pocket just like everybody else? So whoa. Don't even bring that up. Because remember, you hate that practice about getting free games, dumbass. Now all of a sudden you're okay with it? Stop. And even if he didn't have well, he's going to always have trolls and haters. Everybody does. Detractors. If he didn't have detractors, first and foremost, it would be ignorance is bliss for a little while, and then eventually people would still just drop off. They just wouldn't say anything. They would just leave. As for the trolls and haters, they would stick around and poke fun at him. But it is what... Eventually they would become detractors, though. It's kind of like eventually they would. Because he contradicts himself with everything. It's hard not to call him out. And once all of their avenues have been taken away from them, and after they're tired of making their 20th or 30th sock account, they're better off making a video on them. It is what it is. So he'll never be able to escape that. He thinks if he doesn't have detractors, then everybody else is just going to be ignorant to what he does, and he'll still be able to benefit. That's a horrible way of thinking about a situation. If you guys weren't here, I'd be able to take advantage of these people. But you guys screw that up for me. That's basically what he's saying. And that's a disgusting way of looking at it. But you know what's even worse, ladies and gentlemen? When you have people in his fan base who are like, yeah, if you didn't have those detractors, I wouldn't have so much doubt and I'd probably give you more money. They're people who want to be taken advantage of. People who want to be slaves. Slave is probably a harsh term, but you get what I mean. That's incredible. People fighting to be taken advantage of. Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Dspnews?
Play games and advertise for these companies on stream. I'd be doing sponsored streams for games. Like, I'd be getting all this stuff. I wouldn't have any problems. We wouldn't have a Chips Gold tonight, that's for sure. I wouldn't be any financial problems. It's their fault. These fuckers who harass people.
He's lying. He would always have some type of financial hiccup because the idiot can't manage his money. He cannot manage his money. Think about all of the money that went to going into his gullet. Let's really think about that for a minute. Think about all the money he's ever spent on food that you guys saw. Just imagine if he put that back into what makes him that money. Think about better soundproofing and being able to distribute it properly. Having better equipment and actually learning how to use it. You know what I'm saying? Maybe, just maybe, finding a book or taking some online courses on how to customize his PC and buying the parts needed and putting it back into that. Think about all these things that he could have done with his money instead of filling his gullet, instead of fulfilling all of his vices. Who knows where he could have been, but he didn't want to do it. He was always Phil Burnell is always going to have money problems, always, because he doesn't understand how to manage money until his back is against the wall. And even then, even being shoved into that deepest corner, right? He still would ask people for money and still spend to his luxury. To his needs, his deviances, whatever the case may be. It's just what he does. He's used to a certain type of lifestyle that has to be presented as successful, even if other people can't see it, because he's a coward now and he doesn't want to show nobody that. But he has to still live it, and he still has to live comfortably. He still has to live in a way that is accommodating to him. And to the, air quotes, the time that he put into this business. That's what it comes down to. That's what it comes down to. He'll never get better. He was destined to end like this. I know people will disagree with me I know people will disagree with me on that, and that's fine. I hope for it, to be honest, because it opens up some dialogue. But he was always destined to fail like this. He's not the first, and he won't be the last. He's not a rare snowflake, that's funny, even though he is fake. He's not a rare snowflake when it comes to people who find a little bit of notoriety online, can somehow profit from it, and then spin to their heart's content. Because in some ways, it's not just a matter of Phil wanting to live the lifestyle that he wants, but also, even in the back of his head, even subconsciously, he realizes it's fleeting. But since he always knows he'll have people that can take advantage of, he always knows he'll have people that he can take advantage of. He'll spend no matter what. He'll spend himself broke and then come back to you guys and cry broke and cry victim and do this, that, and the third. Please give me sympathy. Please help me. And people, sadly, will do it. Whether if it's not his friends or family, which both of those are in short supply, then it'll be people online who he believes care about him, even though in truth he doesn't give a shit about any of them. They're all disposable. Merely lambs to the slaughter. And then too lazy to cook the lamb chops afterwards. Dspnews.
Harass me, these are the reason why I'm where I am. Those are the direct reason why I am in the situation I'm in. Them. Bum, bum. Boing boom chop fish. I hate this shit.
Oh yeah, that's right. It's our fault that he's an e-beggar, by the way. It's all our fault.
Pathetic. When will they ever grow up?
Never. Never, because there's no one to make them grow up. They live in this isolated world of the online where they don't ever have to grow up. They're never held responsible for their actions. Therefore, they never have to mature. They can literally be babies their entire lives. And they call me the man-child, but they think that doing the fucked up stuff they do to me is like something that an adult would do. It's not. They're all basically, they are morally retarded in the fact that they never will advance to a mature level. They've retarded their own maturity by being these online people like this. It's really fucked up when you think about it. And you know what? Some people actually at this point don't believe me anymore. And tons of dumb people have fucking left. Why do you think they're my detractors now?
Haha! I got choices. Why does that sound like Neverland? Yeah, it's like Neverland, so it's the most disgusting, vile, toxic version of Neverland. Where instead of it, it's just a bunch of innocent kids wanting to have fun.
Well, then, if that's the case, and going off of that retarded logic that you threw, just a minute ago, then you must be the retarded version of Peter Pan. You know what I'm saying? You live the way you wanted to live. You need people around you to praise you and tell you how good you are. You need, well, for you it'd be multiple people, multiple Tinkerbells that continue to bless you to keep you moving forward. When the fuck are you gonna grow up? If this is supposed to be a twisted, dark version of Peter Pan, which if I remember correctly, there's actually like the actual original, the true story of Peter Pan is actually supposed to be much darker than obviously the Disney version. But you could say that about all Disney movies. They all have a much darker origin. But in either which way, sorry about that. Look at you, Phil. Look at you. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, you are the embodiment of all of that. And yet you want to sit there and talk about what's going on over here. Maybe if you fix you, maybe there wouldn't be all this over here. I don't know why it's so hard to figure that out. Address the core problem, which is you, and then maybe everything else fades away. But see, you won't do that. You want everything to be fucked up. It was just like what they said in Belly with DMX and Nas. Some people just have life fucked up and they're okay with it. Phil's no different. He's okay with begging. He's resigned himself to it. It's what he expects to do. Every morning he gets up, he looks in the mirror with no shame, and is like, I gotta beg for money, and I'm okay with that because I'm gonna get a lot of it. Because it's easier than doing the air quotes work that is playing video games for a living and having fun. Dspnews.
Adults who don't understand how fucked up what they do is. Seriously. They think it's like normal to do that shit. Some people are nervous, like, Phil, be cognizant of what you're saying on stream. Why? Why? What am I saying that's not true? And that could ever be used against me, that won't always be used against me against these people. But I mean, like, what you guys don't realize, the shit that people hear me say on stream and take out of context, oh, see how negative that is? No, I'm just answering a question honestly, and if you actually know the situation that I'm living with, you'd agree with me. The thing is that they don't do that. They hide their actions, they try to hide behind these moral fucking compasses that really don't exist. There's stuff they do is so stupid. And the fact of the matter is that what I say, no matter what it is, will be taken out of context anyway as something negative.
So I'm not gonna watch what I say. First of all, I'm not gonna get in trouble for anything I say on this stream. I've toned myself down. I'm not doing the stuff that's gonna get me in trouble. Alright? I don't do that anymore. Fuck you. You're a liar.
Ladies and gentlemen, that right there, that statement in itself is why, at least from here on out, for all those who follow in Tevin's footsteps, Theo's, Argent's, myself, any detractor, at least for me, I can't speak for all those gentlemen, but for myself, I want to make sure that the groundwork has been laid down for people to follow. At the end of the day, there's always going to be people that are going to have an opinion of Phil, and they should. They should. And as long as Phil believes wholeheartedly in what he just said just a minute ago, then there will always be people there. The important thing now, in the short time that I've been doing this, is I realize that the groundwork needs to be laid down for people to say what they have to say about it. And even if my platform has to be used to do that, you know what I mean? Then so be it. If you have something to say about this man, you should have the right to say it. Period. And I think that right there is going to be something important that I want to try to strive for moving forward. That if you have something to say about Phil, then please say it. You have the right to do so. No one's saying you have to be a detractor and you have to make videos on him week in, week out. You don't have to do all that. But if you feel like you don't have an outlet, it's not true. You have outlets. You have ways of getting your voice out there. Whether Reddit, Twitter, YouTube, Twitch, no, don't do it on Twitch. Stream.me, Mixer. I don't know. Maybe you shouldn't do that on Mixer either. Maybe you shouldn't do that on Mixer. Nah, you probably shouldn't do that on Mixer, to be honest with you. At least from what I've seen watching Tevin streams and whatnot. It's a pretty chill environment over there. So bringing DSP over there and shitting it up is probably not a good idea. But you have outlets and whatnot. Like I said, I'll talk about that further moving down the line. But, you know what I'm saying? Don't hold your tongue because you're worried about, you know what I'm saying, what repercussions come out of it. We all had to go through that at one time or another. You know what I mean? It is what it is. There are plenty of people, there are plenty of detractor videos, not even detractor videos. There are plenty of, I guess you could say the detractor videos, kind of. But there are plenty of videos that people did on Phil. One-shotters. Just, they made a video on how they felt about Phil and then just moved on with the rest of their channel. And most of it is positive. Most of it is relatable. It's understanding. Especially those people who are former fans. You know what I mean? Because a fan who's even a current diehard fan can listen to what they say and find something in it that they can relate to. They can thumbs down the video all they want, but in the back of their mind, they're like, I know what that feels like. Something to think about, ladies and gentlemen. Dspnews.
But the thing is that they're going to take out of context when people hate me. Those people are dumb enough to do that. They're going to hate me anyway. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter what I say. They're going to be so dumb. They're going to hate on me regardless. So there's no point in me ever caring about it. Thank you to Silent Watch for getting great sword for the dollar tips. I appreciate that. At the same time, just relax.
Then what's the point of DSP positive? What's the point of DSP positive then if you know you're going to get shitted on for everything and everything that you say is going to get picked apart and whatnot? Especially when you make it so easy to do so. You want to keep holding on to this whole realist guy on YouTube thing, and it hasn't worked. It hasn't worked at all. And if after 10 years you ain't figured that out, in 10 more years you're not going to. Yet again, reaffirming what I had to say about it's important that what we do now is preserved for those who come after us. And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just thinking too far ahead. But I think that's how it should be. And not just here, in any community, to be honest with you. And not to say YouTube's going to last forever. Not to say any platform where you can have an honest opinion about someone's going to last forever. But while it is here, it should be preserved. It should be taken care of. Because one day, you're not going to have that. To be perfectly honest with you, you're not going to have it. And then people like Phil are going to run rampant. And none of you will be able to have a say-so. You already see the safe space type situation now. Imagine in a couple years where you really can't put out a detractor video. You can't even, not even a detractor video, you can't put out a critique video about somebody or something. I'd hate to say that day isn't coming soon. I don't know how soon it's going to come, but it will come eventually. So what we have now needs to stay intact moving forward. We don't need a centralized leader. We don't need an infrastructure per se. It's just a sense of, I guess, just a sense of a much larger and open picture moving forward. And this is coming from someone who's made a shitload of mistakes, who's pissed off quite a few people over here. But you can't say that, well, shit, if GTG sees it, then someone else probably doesn't see it. Just something to think about. Dspnews?
I'm not taking bait or anything, I'm just responding honestly, and it's fine. Nothing's going wrong here. So people just freak out about stuff.
Brewster says exactly anyone watching the full context knows that you're in the right. Yeah, because you hear everything I'm talking about, the messiness that's happened to me and everything that I'm addressing. Then you understand. Wow. Good. Now I'm away from that annoying fucking bitch of a kid who I would have slapped in real fucking life if they talked to me like that. Strike when the fire is hot, as they say.
Alright, well, Poach Beans is being a dick, so he can get fucking banned now. Some people come in here and just purposely try to, like, get banned. I don't even understand that. I'm just gonna come in and do my damnedest to get banned. Like, the guy earlier, he's like, for 2 days he's been cheering and not really saying anything negative. Now he's like, oh, just ban me. Like, what?
I'm stupid. Thanks for asking. Why am I toxic? More toxic, he's toxic. Every fucking day he's toxic. Every day he's here, he's toxic.
Why can't we be friends? Did the trolls ruin unboxing loot crates too? I mean, I'm sure they did have a negative effect. Because when I first got the loot crate sponsorship, they were like super stoked about getting me. And then within a couple months, basically they kind of like toned it down and weren't really talking to me anymore. So I get the feeling the trolls probably did harass the fuck out of them.
It's no. I'm definitely gonna call you out on that. And this, what I'm getting ready to say, is gonna apply to One Up Box too. If you've seen Phil's Nook or whatever they call that shit, and storage room, really, when you see that room, you see rows upon rows of One Up boxes and loot crates. And he even admitted they kept sending him loot crates and he just wasn't unboxing them. So, and they did that for over a year. So it wasn't like they slowed down. It's just he got tired of doing it. He got tired of doing it. I don't know if maybe people were saying that he was shilling or whatever the case may be. Who cares? If One Up Box was like, hey, would you be willing to do an unbox? I'll be like, sure. I'm just going to narrate over it, though. It's going to be someone else that's going to actually unbox it. But, sure, why not? Fuck it. That'd be cool. I probably just need someone to record me. But sure, why not? It's not that big of a deal. And if people like it, they like it. If they don't, they don't. But One Up Box and Loot Crate, at least early Loot Crate, around the time he was doing it, they were known for giving people, these type of, not even contracts, but these long-term extensions for pushing their product. 18 months. I know one guy who strictly does Nintendo stuff. He's been doing Loot Crate since they began. He's like the first person I ever saw do a Loot Crate before I actually knew what Loot Crate was. And he still does it. They just keep sending it to him, so he keeps unboxing it. I don't know how many he's sold now, but back in the day, he used to sell a shitload of them. But they still send it to him, even though he admits that, it slows down. Because Loot Crate has, if you guys have been keeping up with that, because Asian GTG has gotten a few of those. I bought a couple of them, depending on what the theme is. Back when they first started, you got a lot. I mean, you'd open that damn thing up and have like 15 different things in it now. Now it's only like 6. It's kind of like, it's not really, I mean, unless you're going for a certain theme that comes out that month that really catches your eye, I don't think it's really worth it per se. Even the shirts aren't even the same type of quality they used to be. But that's just my own personal opinion. Sometimes, you get mixed bags on stuff. Kenny gets them on the regular. He loves that shit. I don't know anybody who has One Up Box, so I can't speak on that. But Phil kept getting those too. So, I don't know how you could say the haters and whatnot screw that up when you still kept getting them. Just saying. And remember, ladies and gentlemen, that's a month-by-month basis. And he has rows upon rows of it in that storage box, in that storage room. Which he should just give that shit away. Go ahead and give that away as like a perk goal or some dumb shit. Something. At least those for in the United States. Because obviously it's cheaper to send it to them. Well, whatever. Dspnews.
But in reality, what happened was the sales died down. I was only getting like 1 or 2 referral sales a month. And they were like, dude, it's not worth it for us to keep sending you the whole crate when you're only getting like 1 sale a month, which I responded, I agree with you. I knew this would happen because originally, like the whole first year I had Loot Crate, I was getting like a lot, like dozens a month. And it was really nice, but kind of the hype just died out for it. And people stopped doing it, so. No, Padaris, I really don't go on anyone else's stream anymore. And that's literally has nothing to do with the streamers or anything. It's just, I realize that when I go on other streams, it causes drama for those streamers.
KP said DspGaming is an ugly goon.
Because those assholes are following me around and
whoa, no. Don't even say that bullshit. What happened was, there's that tournament footage there, which was fucking hilarious. But, I think it might have been the same tournament. What was my man's name? Arturo Sanchez and whatnot. I think he goes by NY Fergie or something like that on Twitch. He was hosting a tournament and he asked if Darkside Phil to come by and be one of the moderators in his chat. Cool. Innocent job. Even Phil can't fuck that up. You wrong, ladies and gentlemen. Oh, you wrong, baby. Oh, you wrong. he botched this shit up. So they were playing Mario. They were playing Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, and Phil started shitting on the game, as he does. And Phil, being an idiot, not knowing that there's a dedicated fan base that still plays it, or maybe he did, and he was doing this all as bait, they basically hammered his ass. They hammered him. They completely skewered his ass. Put the apple in his mouth and everything. Slow turn with that most simple but yet elegant mixture of honey, butter, and a little bit of heavy cream, and that's what they marinated his ass with. And they ate him up, and he won't go back now. I wouldn't expect him to go back for a while. Not that Arturo wouldn't let him, because it created some buzz on the chat. It gave something for people to laugh at, but it exposed Phil. It exposed Phil for being the negative piece of shit that he's always been. Shut the fuck up and just moderate the chat. That's it. That's all you had to do. No, you want to sit there and talk shit, and then you wanted to engage. Then the announcer started shitting on you. The whole stream was against him, literally like that. That's what kind of piece of shit, toxic individual that Phil Burnell is. The simplest job that anybody could have, he botched it. Just that easy. Just that simple. Just that quick. And by the look on his face right now, he knows what I'm saying is true. He knows it. He knows it. And then he wonders why his fan base, his community, his streams are complete and total garbage. Just hot trash. Trash. He brings that shit with him. He's infected with it. And he can never change. But yet he wants to scream DS positive. He wants to scream the Detractors did this and the Detractors did that. None of us even knew about that until after the fact. Or at least midway through when he was getting shitted on. So how is that our fault? No one told you to go over there and act like a complete nut with one of the few people who still consistently tries to help your ass out. You did that. And how did you thank him, Phil? How did you thank Arturo for his kindness? Imagine that. Dspnews.
Everyone. So I basically now made it a rule that I'm not going to go on anyone else's stream just because I know those sick fucks follow me everywhere, and we'll just make it a hell of a time for those people, and I don't want those people to be disrespected or have shit going on their streams for no reason. So that's pretty much why I don't go on anyone's stream anymore.
I know you're lying.
The dead Juan tipped me $5. So if someone doesn't like you, they're more inclined to believe something negative even if there's no evidence to support it. Talk about sheep, am I right? Meh. Well, hey, remember a year ago when we were still going through the fucking escort saga? Remember that shit? And there was zero evidence to support anything, just fake forum accounts and stupid shit, but people believed it because they were dumb as fucking dirt. I mean, they were so dumb. You had to be a complete and fucking utter idiot to believe that. But that's how dumb they are.
Whoa. First off, as you guys know, we're gonna go over that. That's gonna be a future Gout and Wine. That shit was great. That shit was so great. And I was in a Twitter conversation with somebody, just going over the cliff notes of it because they had watched some of my old videos of my coverage, and they were like, I can't blame you guys for falling for it. And even though some of you guys, and keep in mind, ladies and gentlemen, he's being a bit dishonest because there are plenty of people in the community who were like, even myself, who was like, I don't know if this is legit or not, but let's just roll with it. No one literally that I know of within the Detractor community was literally all in. It was probably, this was like my first major story covering Phil. And by far, it was the most entertaining, fun shit that I had done in my time of doing Detractor videos. It was the build up to it, meaning Brownie Gate, then leading into the escort saga itself, and then the aftermath and everything. It was insane. The whole shit was insane. And the thing is Phil's a goddamn nut, and the shit that happens around him is really nutty. So it made it plausible, even though with a sense of rationale. It's even if it's not real, it was entertaining. That's the point at the end of the day. If you believed it, I don't hold it against you. If you didn't believe it, I don't hold it against you. But it was entertaining as shit. It was super fucking entertaining. And so when like Tevin, Theo, and Argent didn't do videos on it, waited until it ended, that was a smart move on their part. But it was still funny. They still kept up with it. It was entertaining as shit. They just didn't want to put the effort of throwing, not an effort, but they didn't want to put any time into a video yet until it finished off. That made sense, to be honest. But it was entertaining as shit following that shit day in, day out. It was something. But my apologies, not effort. It was just, it was smarter to wait. It was smarter to wait and let it all kind of just come out there. I don't know. I got fond memories of that shit. That shit was entertaining as hell. And then when it all came out, and like once Mtcdood broke the whole story and all the backstory, and then you go back to Kiwi Farms and you look at all the crazy shit they found about Brenda and her husband and all that nonsense. Why Phil? I'm sorry, I'm kind of ruining Gout and Wine, but why Phil? Why was Phil picked to be the target? You guys have run a catfishing empire for 10 fucking years, and you decided to go at Phil. And if you guys did all of that research to find out about Phil's backstory, to play the role of his girlfriend, well, we didn't, of Kat, even though that whole thing is kind of shaky too now that I think about it. I'm completely ruining my video now, but I have to get this out there. You've run a catfishing empire for 10 years. You did all this research to figure out, to find out about who Phil is, the people that are around him, because you knew who you could go after, not go after, but who you could give information to. You could do this, that, and the third. You know how his Detractor community are fucking, we literally are a fucking investigation group over here and shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's, Jesus Christ, dude, it's like Men in Black over here. You know, plus, you know, Batman. You know what I'm saying? Like, shit gets real over here. And they still risked it for Phil. And how did even Phil come across their radar? Anyway, I'm sorry. I completely botched my future project, but I don't know. There's a whole lot wrong with it. Or maybe a whole lot that still, I have a whole lot of unanswered questions, but by far it was still the most entertaining shit ever. And the fact that people in his own fan base was like eating that shit up. He had lost a couple of people during that situation. I mean, what are you gonna do, Phil? Your fan base was taken just like the rest of us. So what's the point? They were just as vulnerable. And the story was just so anyway, sorry. Let's move on. Dspnews.
You're right, they just want to believe the negative shit about me. That's the definition of a drama queen, seriously.
I mean, you are a drama queen and everything around you is negative. Name the last thing that you had around you that was positive, Phil. Are you going to say, oh, when Kat moved in? Okay, let's talk about exactly how positive that was. You lied to your fan base and said she had no history online and she had no ambitions to be online or have an online persona or personality or presence. That's a lie. It's obvious that she enjoyed streaming and probably just doing YouTube videos. So you screwed the pooch on there. And maybe interacting with anybody who isn't your dumbass on Twitter. So you lied there. Next thing is, when she gets there, you snap a picture, put it on Instagram, and then in like 15 minutes, we knew exactly who she was. You knew that was going to happen. You knew that was going to happen. You did that, at least in my personal opinion. You did it to lock her in. You did it to say, sorry, honey, you all in. You can't go nowhere now. Because essentially that's kind of what the case is. She couldn't go anywhere. She was in a real bad spot. Probably didn't have the funds to do anything else since you paid for all that. So she was locked in. In another year or two, Phil, if she's saving her money, which I hope she is, I hope she's taking, you know, Panda's initiative, she's stacking chips. And there's nothing wrong with stacking, you know, a couple hundred, maybe even 1,000 if she can pull it, every month and whatnot, a little more, a little less, and just stack some chips up until it's time to make a move. But the moment you put her out there, and people told you not to do it, we here at in the Detractor circles told you not to do it. Do not put her out there. Don't put her face out there. Don't do any of that. But you did it because you needed to lock her in. You needed to let her know, hey, you can't go nowhere now. You had already convinced her to abandon all of her social media. So you're telling me, ladies and gentlemen, that is out of the question that he didn't put that picture of her up on Instagram to lock her in after he had already convinced her to give up the rest of her social media? And which makes it even more egregious what he did, because he knew what the consequences were. He knew what the consequences were. But we'll save that for the cat video. Let's continue. Piece of Piece of shit.
For the sake of negative shit, right?
The Phil drama show every day. I'm only here for the drama. People hound for it. People have this innate desire for drama and attention and seeing, oh my god, the new thing about this and that. Yeah, but see, here's the thing. So Lolly Isaac News said, oh, but that escort saga was hilarious. At least the way it turned out to be. No, it wasn't. For you it was. For me it was a nightmare. People slandering me all over the fucking internet. People slandering my girlfriend saying she doesn't exist and shit. I don't even think
Whoa. Yet again, that's your fault. First off, you didn't even tell anybody about your girlfriend, so there was too much vagary there. You should have been transparent and you should have said something. I'm not saying you had to put no pictures of her out or anything, but you should have said something and cemented that in. You didn't want to do that. That's your fault. Second, you benefited from that. Viewership was up. A lot of things were up for you at that time, from an attention standpoint, and you needed that. So there you go on that, and that bled into the end of 2017 into 2018 with the amount of money that you ended up getting. Because I mean, the story ended up breaking on that. What, late December, early January? So you benefited heavily from that. That's the next thing. And in turn, a lot of that shit was your fault. You could have dispelled a lot of that shit early. And then the detractors would have picked up on that, researched, and then that could have been broken down. You didn't want to do it. You did that. So, I mean, in truth, at least for one of the questions I posed earlier, you made yourself an easy victim, so that's why they went after you. But even still, something doesn't sit right. Why they chose you, of all people. There's just something that doesn't stand right to me. Like, there's something else behind that, but anyway. DSP News.
Here's someone who literally just, the only thing she ever did was go out with me and come visit me a couple times last year and take one fucking picture with me at Christmas. And all we get is negative shit and attacks and stuff. You know? It's fucked up. It's not funny. It's not funny, and it's not a joke to be laughed at. So we say, wow, that's fucking sick. People shouldn't be doing that fucked up stuff.
I'll consider streaming a little longer if we can hit the tips goal of $250. How about that? We're not gonna do that. Never gonna do that. We're never gonna do that. Now, I was already thinking about streaming a little bit later tonight anyway, maybe like a half an hour. Not super long, though.
Oh my god. It's terrible. Phil's just one of the worst e-beggars. You know how rude it is to ask people about money? You should not ask about fucking money.
According to this, Swaggins just sent me $31. That's true, we've hit the tier 2 goal for today. Tips goal. Thank you very much. Swaggins is the top tier for the night. If this really was him, I know earlier this week, someone was impersonating him. But, thank you very much, Swaggins, for the $31 tip. We're now up to $250. Very nice. Which now means I must do a
double celebratory dab. My headphones fall off. There you go. Okay. Very nice. Double celebratory dab with headphones flying off. And I'm not a children's entertainer. I don't feed babies. I only feed strong and working adults. You better grow up like me. Then I'll feed you.
Anthony says, have you considered filing for bankruptcy, or will you manage your debt better in the future? I need to refinance my house, then I can manage my debt better in the future. I can't file for bankruptcy because they're not going to let me. I own too much, they're going to say there's all these criteria and stuff you have to qualify for, and I know they're going to tell me I don't qualify for it.
Alright, so now someone says they're going to charge back all their donations, and they're pretending to be swagging. So there you go. It's too bad that I'm going to keep them all anyway. I've tipped every single tip ever that's come to me. I've always wanted them.
Jesus Christ, he keeps changing it. He keeps changing it. Stick to a narrative and move with it. Either A, you're scared that people might dispute it, and you might, and it might get hung up and you're not going to get it, or B, you've always won. Pick one of the two. You can't just shift. You can't flip-flop. You can't just keep shifting the narrative.
Back dispute it, I still keep it, so go right ahead, stupid troll. Most of the tips that I get, I don't get that. A lot of the tips don't go through. That's happened a lot, where it says there's a tip, and then I look, and it's gone. For whatever reason, the bank declined it, or whatever. It sucks, but, it sucks when it doesn't go through.
Yeah, Swaggins, they tried to pretend to be you, too, when they said that. Bo Rock, I never said I was unbanning you from the chat. I never told you I was. I have to see why you got banned in the first place, because Bo Rock just sent me another dollar, says, you never unbanned me. Swaggins, yes, I can tell who's really you and who isn't, but it's after the fact. Like, I can't, right now I can't tell, but later on, I get to look at like my PayPal. And
then you can't tell. Then you can't tell. Period. You can't tell. If you have to go behind the scenes to figure out what's what, then you can't tell. And that for Swaggins, congratulations, congratulations, Swaggins, back on bitch status yet again. For all the money you ain't put in, for all the for all the moderation you ain't given out, and all the time you ain't wasted, he can't tell you again with somebody else, with the imposter. God damn, Swaggins. It was bad enough that your bitch made Swaggins, but now there's a liquid Swaggins out there that can get more respect than you. Wow. Ugh. Ugh. That's just dirty. Goddamn, Swaggins. Goddamn. Well, since you resorted to staying on the porch, you might want to go in there and wash some dishes or something, Swaggins. Go ahead. I'm sure DSP has some extra work for you to do around the house. You might as well go ahead and get to it. Jesus Christ. I joke about that a lot, but I swear Swaggins, he gets shitted on just so much. Like, Dave just don't give a fuck. He really don't. Jesus, so sad.
Transactions, and I can see what came from who, so I can know who's a troll and who's not. Just not in the moment.
We just had a troll in the chat. Celebrate Gout 100. So, har, Phil had gout earlier this year, and he talked about it publicly because he talks about this stuff publicly. He shares it, right? He's not ashamed. He's not one of these people who hides the personal shit about his life. He talks about it. And so I brought this up, and everyone knows that I had gout earlier this year, and I don't have it anymore. I haven't had it since, shit, I'm trying to think, the last flare-up was sometime during the summer, you know? Because I changed my lifestyle. I don't drink as much. I'm not eating as much red meat. I'm a lot more healthy now. And because of that, I haven't had any issues with it. But they think it's, like, funny to bring that shit up. Look, another one, fall gout. How is this funny? Like, what is funny about that? It's over. Like, it's so outdated. Find something else. Maybe the most outdated, stupid references, like, you can tell, that's how you can tell how stupid and immature and just dumb these people are. It's not even funny. It's not annoying. It doesn't annoy me. It's not funny. It's not annoying. All you do is make yourself look stupid. Do I need to instruct people on how to troll? You're terrible at it. My God, you're bad. It's just so bad. It's not. It's just like pathetic. It's like a little 5-year-old, you know? It's like a 33-year-old and a 5-year-old's trying to make fun of him. And you look at him like, are you fucking for real? Like, you just made a joke about like a banana or something. It's so dumb. Gout. I haven't even mentioned it in how long? Because I don't have it. Oh my God. What pasta do you prefer? I prefer a penne. Oh! Easy to eat. Oh! Phil's a faggot. Phil's fat. Phil's a loser. Phil's a beggar. Phil's a racist. Phil's a scammer. DSP's a pedophile. DSP is a thief. DSP is a greedy fuck.
This guy's a bitch.
I have a micro penis.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, so there you go. Oh boy. It's just, Gout and Wine this year is going to be great. Or Wine and Doubt. That's just going to be amazing. Jesus, Phil. You just keep fucking up. Like, you know, the new year is supposed to be a chance for everybody to grow. Get better in some way. Improve in something that, you feel that you need to work in or just needs to be worked in. Learning new skills, new abilities, reaching out to people. There's supposed to be a lot that goes into the year. He's fucking up almost from day one. And this right here is going to be the roadmap, the blueprint of what's going to come later. And who's he going to blame when all of that comes about? When all of those chickens have come to roost, you know, who are you going to blame then? He refuses to get better. He refuses to change. And if he can't change, his audience can't change. If his audience can't change, then the content won't change. I swear, man, failure must be an STD in that house or something. Ladies and gentlemen, this is DSP News. Always late, never breaking, unreliable coverage that you can't count on. Oh yes, a GTG Network Productions. I am your host, /anchor GTG, and I am signing off. Jesus Christ. have a good day, guys. And, yeah, hopefully, I'll see you guys for, whenever the next broadcast is. Take care of yourself.
I drive Ferrari cars, and that's understood. I drive the 80 on my picket ring, what the hell I would think.